Well, this is the second one. I'm hoping that if you care enough, people, they can go back and access the first and second videos I've just done. This is the James Holmes of the Century 16, Aurora, Colorado. That's near Denver, I believe. The Giffords were Tucson, Arizona. This is what I started to say on the last tape. Mark Kelly, it's Mark and Scott Kelly. They're twins. And remember, I was brought over here and given the name of a twin. Now, Gabby, his wife that was shot in Tucson, um, she was a U.S. Congresswoman, House of Representatives, and I ran for that office to replace Larry McDonald, which I put on a previous tape. And I was flown to Larry Flint's, who helped in the, campaign. And I don't know, I'll let that go with that. I was going to show, I guess, well, what I was going to say here, and I'm going to start reading this, I'm trying to, and I'm moving around, and I was hoping I could make this video a little better than the others. First of all, I want to show you the twins. I was given this name. This is a copy of the birth certificates. Now then, Lima Dempsey killed the twins, and I was dropped off there in a pigsty. It was a hell of a way to grow up. But she had killed the twins. They were born out of wedlock. So I was given the date of January 7th, 39, which I grew up using on everything. And now then, in about 1999, I get the birth certificates, because that's the name I still have to use, Peggy Ann Dempsey, married to Childers. I use the Childers, because that name was always deplorable to me, just like the family and that excuse for a woman. But here's the Carl Preston Dempsey. Here's his birth certificate. They've marked through the month, and it doesn't have the year. They've marked through it too, and just wrote over the top of it the date given me to make it coincide with the date given me. Now that's illegal. This is used for a passport. It says right on there that to change anything on it's illegal. Yet the state of Alabama were the ones that marked through it and sent the letter that the doctor must have just made a mistake, Dr. Irwin. By the name, Price Irwin's name, the doctor, IRWIN, has been used in some of the murders too. But here's here it's left to 1938, and it's marked through and put January over whatever month they were born in. I do know they were born in the winter, because Carl, she killed him first, and it was winter because the deaths, well, anyway, they put him in a box, and they did go and bury him, and I remember them telling about it over and over. The snow was on the ground and all this. So I'm going to show you the birth certificates. Uh, so now I've shown you that. Now then, this is what I'm going to show you that's just happened. And I'm going to try to read from this so I can get it on this and hope that makes some sense. The shooter at Centennial, Colorado, Arapahoe High, his name first was stated that it was Carl Halverson, K-A-R-L, rather than C-A-R-L. But then they changed it to Pearson. Now I'm going to try to get you to follow this. That was Carl's name of the twin to Peggy. It's a different spelling. It's got a Karl. Now Carl, and you can't know where I'm at right at the moment, so you don't know the connection here. But it goes back to 1973 at Westgate in Atlanta, my home, the last one I had, really. And Carl, Karl, was the young fellow that lived behind us in the house, and his brothers were twins, Troy and Roy Rogers, and yeah, that was their name. So I can't tell all this. I'll just tell you where it fits into the pattern. Now then, this young man's name is spelled Karl, or Carl, and this fits into a murder case that was tried here in Roanoke, and they sentenced him yesterday or the day before, I guess, because, yeah, his name was, I don't know how he spelled his. I believe he spelled it, no, his was Preston King, as in the King of England, or, he was a young fella, and he was babysitting for his girlfriend, and his was mind control before this ever happened out in Colorado yesterday with the Carl Peterson, or not Peterson, excuse me, Pearson. Um, they sentenced him, I think he pled guilty, because people under mind control don't know they're under mind control. They wouldn't know unless it was done in patterns that I've told you about, because mind control is invisible. So he's going to prison for life. He's a young fella. And the father, and I can't blame the father of the young girl that he shook to death. It was a shaking, and he evidently had hit her. He's under the command to hit her. All this is programmed into him. You can't get people to listen to it, most people. So those connected, but I want to get back to the Columbine and all of that. So much of this, a lot of this lately centered around Colorado, a suburb of Denver. The Columbine, which I told about back then, and there was one back near that time in the city. I don't, it wasn't city limits. I don't guess. I don't know where it was. At Littleton. It was near Columbine. Had some shootings, and they were the mind control and done in patterns. Now then, by the way, I want to go back to the Carl Pearson up there yesterday in Centennial. Pearson is the girl, the woman, this one, the girl, that I thought was a friend, and I left because I was having so much trouble, I thought because of the book, in April. Well, it was that night, the last night of March, and April the 1st, April Fool's Day. I went to her home hoping to have some rest from it all. Instead, I got filled full of antifreeze, and that started the whole fiasco. It's been a joke to everybody. April Fool's Day filled me full of antifreeze. So that's where the Pearson is coming from. Her name was, what did I just say? Lois Pearson. She's since married, and I don't know if she's still alive. She certainly hasn't gone to jail for what she did to me. I should have died and gone into a coma. So I hope I'm not confusing it here. I don't have a, not trying to make excuses, but hey, my life is. I wanted to go back here to, I don't even know where my sons are and haven't for a long time. So I go on living, praying that before I die, I get to see them, and this is told. And my father's name is cleared, and mine, and the British, and the Germans that have been so defamed by the Americans. Some Americans have helped, and I don't mean to add them into that, but 99% of them on my walk through life have made a joke out of what's been done to me and actually tried to help kill me. I did want to go back to, because I really wonder, I don't really wonder, I don't know for sure. I know that they did help John Kennedy and the brother Joe, but then Joe was, died in, well, I had it written down, and now I don't know. But they were over at the embassy at the time that I was kidnapped.